video. I don't even know how long this one's going to run. Okay? But here's what we're going to do. Everything that I've talked about on the previous videos is going to be put together. I will be putting together the not only the OTDVT, but we're going to talk about the COS, the conditional loader system. We're going to talk about the Zippy. We're going to put it all together so you can see how they work in concert. Now, how do I do that? Well, I want to do it live. That's going to be hard. The reason it's going to be hard is I can't predict the market. Best thing I can do is just start out looking at things, and that's what I'm doing right now. This is pre-market time. I want to give you a glimpse in what goes on in the head of Gary Odom in the morning. Now, I am not suggesting to you in any form or fashion that you should trade the way I do. You may not even swing trade, and this will be a swing trade, but it will perhaps give you some insights into things that you could look at and consider and pull in with your method of trading. I may do one on the futures as well. It's not as much fun because I don't have as much time to deal with stuff and analyze stuff, and you more futures trading is on a very short term energy flux. Swings trading, you've got more gimme. You don't have to be quite so exact in your trade entry. It's just a little easier to make money. There is a drawback with swing trading. You need a little bit of money to do it, but you don't need a lot. And I'll show you that by using position sizing and that sort of thing that you could get into trades without spending a lot of money. And if you have a lot of money, you can get into a lot of trades. So here we go. Let's first, this is just a chart, and I won't tell you how I got this BBY on the screen. What I did, this again is pre-market. I have this little study, I call it the COS swing, just identified that all it is doing is looking for possible things to trade. And it's nothing more. This is just a TDVT scan here in a moving average. That's all it is. The only difference is, I have changed my last. My last Ming price is $10, and I set the volume at 10,000. Now, typically speaking, I wouldn't even consider a stock with $10,000 volume. But understand, this is not market open yet. We are, where are we? I think we're about, I can't see my clock offhand. Let's see if I can shrink this and see it. Yeah, we're at 8:08 right now. So, it's the central. We got about 30 minutes before the market pops open. I am in no rush. There's a lot of people who trade market open, and good for you. I'm glad you do it. I'm glad you're successful at it. It's just not my cup of tea. I like to take things slow and easy, and that's why I do what I do. So I did a little scan, and this is what I come up with. And the easy thing to do is I just saved it over here so it could come out over here so that we could look at it on the charts. But before we do that, I want to show you something else I do. I click on this little analyze tag, and then I go to the fundamental section over here. Part of the reason I do that is to find out what in the world is ALT, because I get all kinds of things in this scan. I don't know what they are. Is it even a sector I want to be involved in? This is the healthcare sector. Boy, that's a double-edged sword. You don't know where to go on that one. A lot of places in the healthcare sector are dumping tons of money trying to come up with something, and others are, like this one, thinks they have something and everybody's behind it. Now understand that value really has little to do with buying into this healthcare market. I mean, particularly the research kind of aspect of it. It's a bet, it's a gamble, it's a high risk trade. But there's an incredible amount of money that can be made in it. For instance, this little pop here, I don't know what that was, probably a buck or so, and it's up at 10 now. It's been great to catch that, but you have to be in the right place at the right time. But anyway, it pulled it up, and mostly it pulled it up is because it made such a dramatic move today. See, it's got this huge move. You notice that none of the arrows have been turned on. These little arrows that you see actually have to do with the trade manager showing exit positions on long trades. We'll ignore those for the moment. I have the TW Zippy in all three charts, just so you'll know. That will be an integral part of my presentation this morning. I'm not trying to convince you that you should acquire this particular study, but I will convince you what it's done for me, and then you make up your own mind. And I'll show you how I use it in my trading. I, frankly, would not make a trade without it. That's how important I think it is. Okay, let's go to the next one. I'm not going to mess with this crazy thing scooping around. It might be your cup of tea. It's not mine. BBBY, Bed Bath & Beyond, has been a good stock in the past, but it can have some volatility. And this COVID bit has really made a big difference in how it performs, just like it has all retail businesses. But BBY has got a pretty good internet presence, and they do a pretty good business on the internet. Now, the future of BBY is what the future of COVID is. Just write that one up. If they start getting a handle on COVID and things coming back, you will see BBY come back. And this is why you had this rise here. This is a 4-hour chart, so it goes back to, I think I can't read this. Let me open it up so I can see what I'm looking at. Yeah, we'll go back to here, and this looks like it's April 21st. So this is several months back. This is after the big drop when it first started recovery. So you see, it was, even then, it was struggling. There's no question, up, back, down, but the whole market was doing that. There was not anything unusual. It ran with more or less the S&P, about what the S&P did. I could plot it over. And then it got in this zone up here. And this is where things have been crazy the last few days. And this is a 4-hour chart, so we got a couple of candles here. And we don't know. I mean, this is where COVID count's just been screaming up, particularly in my area and the southern states, Florida and that kind of thing. Texas, which is where I am, really affects what's going on with the market and what the people believe. There is a lot of explanation about what's happening, and we won't go into that, but it doesn't make any difference. It's how the market reacts to it. That's what makes the difference. And I believe right now this particular stock is being heavily influenced by COVID. And my TW Zippy also convinces me that. We're going to come back to the stock. I think this is something we need to look at just a bit more. So let's go back to the Analyze tab. And you notice, if you look at this, the analysts don't think much of it. Okay, only Market Edge is think it's going to still have some future in this baby. Well, typically what I do in a sane market, I respect this. And the reason I respect it is because a lot of other people respect it. I don't necessarily think these people have a better handle on what's going on than a whole lot of other people. But a lot of other people believe that they do. And it's those other people that I'm concerned about. And if they believe they do, they're going to change the market. When I'm talking about the herd mentality. You got to remember, that's what you're trading, the herd mentality. That's what creates momentum. Numbers on the balance sheet might influence it, but they don't create it. The people trading is what creates it. So you kind of maybe get a mindset of what they're thinking. This is what this is about. This is why I look at this. This one is another one. It's an industrial. I don't know what it is. I get all kind of wonderful things in the scan that I don't know what they are. It looks kind of interesting. It's low priced. It's come from a low of 120 back in January of 15, and it's pretty much been on a constant growth, not a a growth that would remind you of comets in the sky by any means, but let's see. But it's been pretty steady and constant, something that somebody might want to be getting into. I want to go back here again, and I want to take a look. Oh, it's not going to give them to me. I wanted to look at the balance sheet. No balance sheet, no go. All right, this is in the energy sector. Frankly, the energy sector right now is a little bit crazy, and I don't choose to enter it until it settles down, but we'll look at the charts. You see, it's been going down, and yeah, it does have these little glimpses of hope, and then it comes right back down. So I'm not inclined to mess with the energy sector. Let's take a look at this one. Oh, come on now, I know you're there. What's your deal? I think this is also a healthcare industry. Again, this is a Tortoise Acquisition Company. What this is, it's what they call a blank check company, but they're really into purchasing, again, the energy sector. So I'm not really crazy about that. So I guess the only one we're going to look at here, and we'll do this more for explanation than necessarily the future of a trade, but it's all we have right now. So let's go to the charts. Let's look at all three of them. Let me close this. Excuse me. Okay, here's BBY. We go back to the bad old days. Before the bad old days. Let's see what it was doing before the bad old days. You notice we had the typical runs. This is post-holiday. Boom. Christmas is over. The sales are on. Nobody's making any money. The stock drops. But it comes back. And again, guess what happens? Sometime in February, somebody had a fright. It was a real fright, too. And down it came. Bang, bang. Oh, God, where's my money going to? Oh, my RA is crashed. Oh, my savings, my retirement is done. That's the end. Well, when you consider it went down to $3.38, yeah, that's pretty much the end. This stock really got ripped. But I know it's a good company. I know they can make money. And I know they're responding to COVID. So I'm thinking, hey, how about doing a little bottom feeding? I don't generally do that, but I know my fish here. I know this fish. And I know that immediately when things start coming around, it starts coming back. It's ready to come back. People are ready to bring it back. And I know we're stalling here for a reason. Well, remember I talked about the Zippy? You see this little, I'm going to open this one up. We'll look at all three of them. Whoops. Which one do I want? That's the one I want. I clicked the wrong one. See the little red lines here? That's a bearish support zone. Now, so that means that it's going to go down, right? No. What it means is the bears are trying to push it down. That most of the activity, the candle shapes, the volume, and that kind of thing are trying to push this stock in the other way. They believe that it's still a short candidate. All right? The bulls, on the other hand, think, well, maybe it's not a short candidate. And maybe there might be an opportunity to get in and make a trade. So we're stuck here. It doesn't have enough momentum to get through this bearish support zone. So it's stuck. And until it makes a decision of which way it's going, this is where we are. So where are we going? Well, let's look at the general movement of the stock. It's been up. So my bet is it's going to go up. I can't tell you when, but look what we have. We actually have a trade signal here. I know there's no arrows. You don't need them. And I'll show you why you don't need them. Let's go and look at the other charts. Wow, we don't have a trade signal here, do we? Well, this is our short chart, incidentally. This is a 1 hour chart. Trend's down, mom's down, dad's still up. Dad still, has some promise in him. But look, just because the trend's pretty flat, it's not really, momentum has not really set its cap for which way it's going yet. And that's why you have this conflict between mom and dad. When the trend changes, mom will likely change along with it. And of course, stochastic's yellow, so it says, it's neither up nor down. I'm at 10, I'm on the bottom of the chart. I'm ready to go up. Just give me some positive juice, guys. This is a great place for me to take an upward signal. Just think of that little hook on the bottom of stochastics. That's where we are right now. It's waiting to go up. It's at a 10. Man, get me out of here. Get me some people on here. Okay, that's it. Enough foolishness. So, okay, we could do that. I don't necessarily see a problem with anything except we have a a bearish support zone here again. Well, let's go to the next chart. Oh, well, this is our 4-hour chart. This is our interim chart. Guess what? We have another bearish support zone here. So it's universal on all three charts. It must be the real deal. But look at the difference here. This is a little bit longer time frame. It's not so secular as the shorter time frame is. The trend's up, mom's up, dad's down, Stowe is up at a 63. That's a great place just above the middle. Listen, I don't have a problem taking it at 90 if I got enough momentum. But regardless, that's just me. So, and on the long term, we've had a nice big run. We had this nice big retrace here, which reset our wave count. So we're early in the waves, we had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then back it came. They're not hard to count. Just look at them. That makes sense. They really are not. It's not really that scientific to begin with, This here is just, when you see them doing this, and you notice you got a green zippy here and a red zippy there, that's a real good signal for some consolidation, and that's what happens. It gets caught between these and consolidates. These little lines are amazing. You see, I had a bullish support zone way back here. It's formed off of this candle. While this was still coming down, I had a bullish support zone that picked it up. And look what happened. Trend hit it and turned. What a deal, huh? But at the same time, it had to break through this bearish support zone, which it did because it had this bullish momentum and actually spiked up here. Then it formed another bullish zone. It respected it and down it came. So this is how we're getting caught in this consolidation here. Boom, boom, boom. And finally, we got enough momentum to break out again. And there we go. Now, what I'm going to do, just for chuckles, I'm going to flip on the arrows. Why the arrows? Because the arrows were made for back testing. And this has nothing to do with my morning drill. I just want to show you something. I don't know where it's going to come out, but I got an idea. Look here. As soon as it broke that zone, we had the TDVT was right on top of it. So you see this combination of it breaking and you got a TDVT, the chances of a successful trade are extremely high. All right, and it was a successful trade here. It went from somewhere around 639, and then you got an exit signal from the trade manager here at 912. Well, my math head is not that good, but that's somewhere around $2 and I don't know 80 cents, something like that. You say $2.80? That's nothing, really? You know what? That's almost 30%. 30% in a week. I'll take that anytime. Listen, I want to go to a bank. I want to give them $10,000. They're going to pay me 30% a week. Is that a deal for you? Would you take that? Of course you would. It's the same thing. Don't belittle these little trades. They can make you a ton of money. You make it for a week, you make it again and again and again. So don't give up these little guys. There's a lot of money to be made in that, and your odds of losing are pretty low if you play it right. And if you do lose, it's going to be a low value loss. For instance, if you set a stop on this one, you would have probably set it somewhere down here. Looking for the lowest low in so many bars or whatever. Look, I see this little gap here. I see it breaking through. I would have put my stop on the bottom of that candle right there. I would. Because I know we've got a lot of energy coming through here, and the chances of even hitting a stop are almost nil. But if it does, I'm out, $8, $10. I don't know, not much. That's what I would do. Okay, enough of this foolishness. Let's get on back to what we were doing. So let's take a look at all three charts again. What I want to do, based on what I'm looking at here, I will probably enter a trade on here somewhere around 1045 or something like that. I want to get up above these. I want to make sure that I have a zone trade here. I would do that on a conditional order system at this point. Market's closed right now, but I can still do it. Now the market's going to open later, and I'm going to be back with you, and we will go through this a bit more while the market's trading, kind of looking at various things. But since I got this up, I got a potential trade. We're going to show you how I go into the trade manager, and it's already on, but I just need to change the values in it. So we get into the trade manager, and I want to put, again, this is position sizing. I'm just going to put $5,000 in every trade I made. I don't care if it's Tesla or if it's, BBY. And of course, it's going to give me a ton of shares, and that's good. And I do not want to lose. And I tell you, it looked like a really tight ability to put a real tight thing in there. So I'm going to put a real tight one in here. I'm going to put $100. All right. Which is going to be, no, I need to add, I need to give about, let me look at the chart again. I want it tight, but I don't want it insane. Okay. I think I picked this little candle right in there, which was 580, and I probably would have had a trade up here about 640. Let's call it 60 cents. Okay, a 60 cents loss, and I'm gonna have to do some backward math, but 60 cents is on almost 500 shares here. All right. So we're looking at about a $300 loss, which is not bad on 500 shares. So let's set it for that. Where's my thing? There it is. Oh, that's the wrong one. They're so close together. Here, I'll try this one. There it is. Okay. 260. That's good enough. Trade risk 260. I want to have the interim risk. I don't want it even backing up that much. If it comes against me more than $200, which is about 40 cents, I want out. Okay, I'm going to use the volatility momentum because that's what I do, but I'm going to I'm going to turn the other one on just so you can see where these stops would be. So we've got a stop here. We got a stop here. I wouldn't want that stop there, but we got a stop here. We got a stop here with a risk base. Now, let's take a look at the volatility momentum exits to see what that does for us. This is a rehash of some of the other videos, I agree, but it's something I'm looking at every morning anyway. Oh, look, it lets me run all the way up to here. So I'll take that one. I'll take that volatility. And you know what? The numbers are so close on each one. The volatility is 0.32. This is 1.0. And this one is 1.3. I'm going to take this one. I like this one. This one has the same basic stop. It's just further down. So I'm going to take this one. This one right here is one I'm going to take. I'm going to make my entry and my exit on the 4-hour chart. Okay? Done. Done deal. So let's do that. We're going to put a trade in at 1045. That's where our zone trade's going to be. Now, I'm pretty confident that if I get in at this place, that I'm going to be just fine. And I don't need any extra assurance about anything, because sometimes if you put it in there, then you really had a good entry, but you have two different studies looking for their own little slant here. Oh, here we go. Market's open. That's okay. Let it roll. What am I doing? 495. I got distracted with that bell. Just it's like Pavlov's dog, you know. Bell goes off, I start salivating. Yeah, baby, let's get it. Sound like Mark Cuban there. Okay, and this one, boy, this is strange numbers put in here, but that's okay. It's only 5 grand. Remember that. It's only 5 grand. Okay, we got all this set up. Now these are going to go pretty quick. These are easy, easy, easy. So I want to make sure in case I need to see these values, I pull that down. There's the symbol. There's the method. Okay, we're going to have to, come on. Come on, click, click. There. This mouse is kind of weird sometimes. I'll probably be getting a new computer in a game here for long. I've been looking at some of these new fancy rigs that they have out there, and I kind of like some of these with those 6 and 8 core AMD Ryzens and that kind of thing. I think I just might like that. Alright, we want the new gen conditional entry, and we want to do a zone momentum trade, and that was going to be at about $10.45 as I recall. I'm going to add anything else. I'm good with it. I don't need anything else. But if you wanted to, you could actually put a TDVT trade in here and have the momentum. I'm just afraid to miss it. But if you wanted to, just just come here and add both cycles and trend. All right, we already have momentum, and that's that's what you're talking about. Cycles, momentum, which is 2 energies, and the trend, and of course you got your wave count. But you know what your wave count is. It's going to be in the beginning because it's been consolidated, so it's going to be fine. It'll be an early wave count. But I'm not going to add them, not at this time. We can put another trade in that would do exactly that. It would fire when it comes to life, and if that's what you wanted, that's good too. I would not be objectionable to that at all. Just put a TDVT trade at no particular value, just because you have no signal now. And just when it was ready to fire, it would be ready to go. Okay, that's done. Now we need to get out of this puppy. Okay. Again, symbol, method, study, edit. Again, back to the 4-hour chart. And we want to edit this. And we know what we need to do. We need to do that little click, click, click routine again. And there's our exit right here. Now it's a long guy, so where do we want to get out? Well, my little guy says that we have a target point of 0.1392. That's not very much. And I think what I did is I did not put my profit target in there. But I wouldn't mind making $2 a share on this with that many shares. So why don't I just put 12.45 in here? I did not put it into my trade manager. I left it out, but that's no big deal. You don't have to go back. You know how much money you want to make. I think $2 a share, it'd be fair enough. So we'll call it 12.45. And if I'm trading almost 500 shares, that's $1,000. I'll take that. All right. I'm going to leave this blank because I want to use the volatility momentum exit, and it is true. And I'm going to save that and say okay. I can't see it, so I scroll it up, save that. All right, the stop, it tells me now we do have a valid stop amount of about 50 cents, so I'll put that in there. You say, hey, that's not very much. Well, again, it's 500 shares, okay? you know, or thereabouts. Okay, that's good enough. We're going to confirm, and we send. Okay, this one's in play. Now, let's take a look at the market's open now. So let's go back to the scan. Actually, let's go over here, open this up. Got a whole bunch more in there. See, all those that popped up. We're going to put the other, the real scan program in here. The regular one right here, the NG scan 114 hour and trend. I'm gonna put it over here as well so we can kind of bump it, get it going more quickly. You'll notice that sometimes when you hit the scan, as well as it appears to be not a whole bunch because we don't have a lot of volume yet, and that's one of the things that's slowing us out. If you want a quicker read, just knock one of the zeros off the volume. Sometimes that'll give you a quicker number. It's 100,000. Not yet. Not yet. And again, it's volume. Unless we have a down market. I didn't think about checking that. Let's check that real quick. We'll go here. Where's, I don't have it in there recent. Surely I checked it. No, I didn't check that this morning. How about that? Okay. Or is it? I want to just check the ES and see what's going on. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. Hello traders, Gary Odom here, back with you. I had a little microphone difficulties, but it's okay because it was about time for me to leave the video anyway. I tell you I would leave and come back when I first started the video, and then I entered a trade. The market was in a down condition, if you recall. There would have been and I hadn't talked anything about the futures yet, so I was on the futures as we were leaving the video, and we did have a good trade here for market open. Also explained to you that I was not a proponent of market open trades, but then again, I'm just not that kind of trader. If you want to be here ready and ready to pull a trigger, I will tell you this setup right here was wonderful. You'll notice that it broke through the TWZP bullish support zone, and on this second candle would have been an excellent entry. One say, yeah, over here is earlier. Yeah, but if you want to confirm it, have something going with it. This second candle would have been good, or late into this candle would have been fine. Either way, it's going to be about the same. And it would have been a good trade for you. I don't know exactly how much, about what is that, 30-10 we'll call it, and out at somewhere around 29.94, about what, 17 points? Yeah, and 2 contract trades. That's a $1,700 payday, my friend. In case you haven't done your math, that would be a good one. You'll notice that it also broke the zone as well on this chart here. This TW Zippy has that little green bullish support zone. It broke that one. So yeah, you would have been in excellent shape on trading that one. There isn't much more that you could have gotten into. It is showing you some trades here on this short chart, but you really don't have confirmation on the longer charts. Even though if you'd gotten in, you made a little bit of money, but it would have been much. You had this big old TW Zippy bearish support zone, which you didn't know was there at this time, but you knew that this one was here, and we're talking about this first candle, and you did have a breakthrough on it. There was no way for you to know that this one was going to come up, except that you knew it on this chart. It's on this chart here. So that would not probably have been an advisable trade, even though you might have made some money out of it. One of the things I find from a lot of subscribers that not used to trading, or maybe don't have a thorough trading mentality of what's what, they'll see something like this. They'll say 1, 2 candles up, man, there's a trade entry, Maybe, maybe, yeah. If you got in here and you stayed in and you didn't get out when it went down, and you didn't get out here and you got out exactly on time here, that would have been a great trade. But unfortunately, people don't do that. You can look at something in hindsight and say, "Oh, that's a wonderful trade." That's why the study keeps you out of these trades. It makes sure that you have at least some positive momentum going for you. And it showed it to you on this chart that you had a couple of trades. But you have to have a little sense about you. You just can't jump in and blindly take a trade. That's why we put 3 charts up here, so that you can look at the other charts and see where you are. Frankly, if this were the NQ that you were looking at, and it could have been, we've seen that it had a downtrend. So, that's a real recent change. In any case, we need to talk about why follow the methodology. And the methodology does incorporate 3 charts. It's to give you high confirmation trades. If you want to scalp, I'll tell you how to scalp. I'll tell you how to do this by using the TW Zippy, where you can scalp. I have a friend in Canada. He was with me in the beginning when I first wrote this study. He test traded it with me. He was blown away. Couldn't believe how well it worked. He made thousands and thousands of dollars trading this, and only was trading in a pharmaceutical industry, which is a high volatility. He'd be down 25% in his account sometimes. That's just how he traded it. But overall, he made a ton of money. But if you want to do that, if you want to scalp it, all right, here's the TW Zippy. See this bullish support zone? It broke here. Trade on this bar. Take a trade right there. All right, here's the TW Zippy. The bearish momentum had enough momentum to break here. Take it on its second bar after it broke. Here it is up here. It's not breaking at all. You wouldn't take any trade. All right. Here, this is a scalping move now. This is not TWVT, but I'm telling you this for these people who write me these emails, wanting to know why the TWVT doesn't get in there. Okay, fine. I'm telling you why it doesn't get in there, because it's not based on those short-term energy moves. It's based on something that has more confirmation and stuff to it. Not that there's anything wrong with doing the zippy trades, but you're going to get what you're going to get. It's going to get until it runs, and here a bearish support zone was created, and it went down. Then you're going to get out there. That's your TW Zippy trading methodology. So if you're not happy, then just use that. Okay. But I'm going to tell you, it's good support to the TDVT. You'll notice here, it broke the zone right here, and you got a signal. All right. Now, is that a long-term trade? No, but a successful trade. One good for it's from about where is that? Somewhere around, we'll call it 3016, and then an exit right about there, 3022. You know what? A 6-point move, 2 contract trade, that's $600 in a matter of, what is this? It's 9-minute charts in about 12-15 minutes. I'll take $600 over 15 minutes. You don't need long trades. You don't need to be in them for a long period of time. So, you made that, and you get out and you make another one. Here's one. Here's TDVT right here, right on target, just as it breaks this bullish support zone. And again, another good trade. So don't look for where you want the trades to be. Take the trades that are available. And no, there isn't a trade here, and that looks like a good, wonderful trade. There's a reason for it. And just because it turned out to be a good trade doesn't mean it was a good trade down here. Okay? I know sometimes it's hard to wrap your head around, but that's just the way it is. All right, enough about that. The other thing I want to talk to you about a little bit is position sizing. I showed you a little bit about that when I made the trade for $5,000 in the BPPY. I don't know where that trade is. Right? Well, it's not in yet. It hadn't been exercised yet. We're waiting for price to get up there before it exercises. And that's a good thing about using the COS. You can set it up to where you want it to have. You can set it up so you get a signal at a zone if you want to. There's just many different ways to do that. But it looks like the market's coming back, and I'm really glad to see that because we're getting trounced pretty badly last week. And I like to trade bullish. I used to love to do short trades, but that's when I monitor the charts. And you need to be there pretty quick to get them out pretty quick. So anyway, back to position sizing. The whole idea behind that is you don't buy any number of shares. You say, if you got 10,000, you want to make 5 positions, you only have $2,000 to work with. That's going to limit what you can buy, but you can still get by and find positions for that. The reason for that is you're spreading your risk out, and you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. And it's just a good, easy way to do it. The trade manager will compute exactly how many shares you need to buy, and you just go from there. Okay, there's one other thing I want to show you that I didn't show you earlier. It's a little something I do in the mornings before the market opens and during the day as well. I have set up some specific stocks. There's a reason that these are in here. I will tell you what it is, but I'm not going to go into a rant on what they're about. This is TaaS, or Transportation as a Service. This is autonomous vehicles, whatever. This is Uber without drivers program. Is essentially what it is. It's going to major a huge change in our whole way of life, and it'll probably happen pretty quickly. It's already going very quickly. Google's got, I don't know how many cars, 60, 80, I forget how many it is. In the Phoenix area, he's got, so much money involved in it. Baidu has got a couple of fleets in China. Like I said, Google's involved. Tesla obviously involved because, being pretty much the leader in electrical vehicles right now. Intel's involved. Microsoft's involved. A lot of companies are involved in this task. One of them that I've been trading lately was Nvidia. A lot of people know those as a game manufacturer, but they're so much bigger than that. They make GPUs for the computers that's used in the digital industry, just like and what I'm doing right now. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at for a new computer with an AMD processor, the new Ryzen 7, and a NVIDIA GPU, which, but the big thing is the NVIDIA makes controls and what have you that go into all these electric cars and autonomous vehicles cars, which means it doesn't make any difference which manufacturer takes the lead. They have their hat in the door. Aptivia, same thing. Apple, I think's got a small fleet running. I don't know exactly where they are, but there's a lot of these guys have them running. As a matter of fact, in Houston, I don't recall who it was that has it, but Houston has a number of cars running between the airport and the city, because that area has already been geotagged. You can go into town and you can see the Neural car running around. You've probably seen them in the cities yourself. They're going to geotag the whole nation before it's over with. Every road possible that's needed to be tagged will be tagged, so that the autonomous vehicles can go anywhere. And that data will be constantly updated. Road conditions and what have you will be constantly updated into the geotag database. So it's coming, guys. It's coming. Anyway, that's what these are about. I put them up here every day. I take a look at them a couple of times during the day. I do have the arrows turned on here because obviously I can't put labels up here. I don't have room for them. And this is the 1 hour charts. Kind of gives me a heads up if anything's changing. It's at Qualcomm, for instance, in the corner down here. It's been getting trounced pretty severely lately, but I notice it's starting to make a move up. Now, is it ready to trade? Of course not. Not even close. NVIDIA, I'm actually got a position to take a trade. I'm not sure let's see what it is. It's a zone trade for 380.5, so I'm a long ways off. I made it before it started going down, and it's fine. I'm going to leave it in there. 380.5 is right about here. So when it gets up in that zone, it'll put me back in. And by that time, the trend will be up and everything else will be lined up. That's one that's set up to go. This one has been set up forever, and it's never. It might get back to where it's supposed to be. Uh, this is just a TDVT study. Just I'm waiting for a positive signal. I might have multiple trends on there. That might be one of the reasons it's. I don't know, but anyway, it was set up some time ago. Let's see if it has a date on it. Yeah, 6/6, June the 6th. It was set up. Isn't that great? I'm just waiting for it to get back to where it needs to be to put me in. And I don't have anything else going right now. I just exited a trade with, I forgot. Uh, it was not a gainer, not much of it anyway. This downturn took me out this morning when it first opened. That's when it took me out. So this is the last thing I have to talk to you today. This is the Gary Ode method of trading. I in no way encourage you to deviate from a Doc Dog trading methodology, because essentially that's what I do. I have some little verifications and tweaks that I make, but you know, when you start trying to leave it, you're pretty much on your own. Don't come to me to ask me why it didn't succeed. I sometimes deviate from it myself, but you know, I have a pretty good idea of what I'm doing. I've proved that I'm successful at it, and a lot of it has to do with that TW Zippy. But other than that, I'm pretty conventional. I don't get too radical. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to get out there and get busy and make some money. I want you to enjoy life a little bit. I want you to enjoy life a whole lot. And I want you to let me know if there's anything I can help you with. And if enough of you have an interest in a specific video, I will try to make it for you. So I will see you in the next video.